Welcome and praise the Lord. You are watching Vinnie Holmes Presents Gospel in the Arts. I missed you. It's been a while, but I hope that the Lord has been taking care of you and your family. Listen, today we have an awesome show. In light of all the high prices, the fuel prices, and how things are just getting out of hand, I felt that I needed to address it. So today's show is talking about gotta go green. It's time for us to really take control of what we're doing in our households. And because of that, I have brought an expert onto the show to bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, the one and only, Rudy Scott.
Thank you, Vinny.
Rudy,
thank
how
you.
are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Listen,
and thank you for inviting me tonight.
It's a pleasure. Listen, what you've been doing, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself to our friends and our family, but I want to say that I heard about you, and I heard about the initiatives that you were putting into place. And I said, listen, whatever I can do to help people, and then who would have known that you actually would have helped me, but I'll get to that later on. But Rudy, tell the people about you. Tell me a little bit about you, what you do, and how long you've been doing it, and such like that.
Well, I'm a lifetime resident of Rockland County. I went to Rampo High School and, played drums, and I actually had, talking about music a little bit,
yes,
I was involved and had an entertainment operation called Rainbow Productions. And we had a recording studio on Main Street in Spring Valley. Now, this was 30 years ago.
I was going to ask you.
It was 30 years ago. But we actually even had it accredited with Rockland Community College, so students could come and learn how to do recording.
Okay.
And we had practice halls for bands. We did logos. We did jingles for local radio stations.
Yes.
And I also represented a lot of different major national acts like Bob Denver of Gilligan's Island, and I used to represent Alvin Ailey and book them in colleges. And I also paid for the play for Malcolm X that actually turned into the movie. And I used to represent Betty Sabaz and booking her into colleges at times also. So it was a very unique time, with music and entertainment and stuff, And I evolved as an entrepreneur. I started going out and building homes.
Yes.
And I started with modular homes, which are really where they come in 2 or 3 boxes and you put them together.
Okay, so you just put a home together,
Just put a home together, a home and a kit, right? And then I went to panelized, and then I went to big custom stick-built homes, and I started doing land subdivisions and different commercial projects. So I got actively involved in that. And then I got into the mortgage business for many, many years. And,
okay, so you are an entrepreneur to the heart.
An entrepreneur my whole life. I've owned restaurants, pizza places, nightclubs, variety of different types of business. And I took a mortgage company that I started in a little 8x10 room.
Yes.
And turned it into over 300 offices. We went national and we went public. So I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
Well, let me ask you, with all those things you've done, you're a wealth of knowledge. I've had the opportunity to speak to you about some things, and you've impacted my life greatly. I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do you still ever get a chance to play your music, or still deal with that part of your life?
It's interesting. Music becomes a part of you. And
yes, it does.
You can't run away from it.
Yes.
And I have friends that still play professionally that rent studios out in the city, and I go down in the city, and of course they already have a drum set set up, so I don't have to lug all this stuff down and do all the old day stuff. But it's fun. I still enjoy playing, and it's a part of you, And I have a djembe, an African drum, so it's,
See, I could tell you for real because you even said it right. My years in Sam Ash.
Right. That's where I bought it.
So you got it from Sam Ash.
Got it from Sam Ash.
Shout out to our friends at Sam Ash. Now, let me ask you this. Now, we're on the set here of Gospel in the Arts. This is your first time, and I hope that it won't be your last time.
Thank you.
However, I need to tell my friends and my guests that your father's name?
William Scott or Bill Scott.
Bill Scott, as they all knew him in Rockland County, rest in peace. He's one of the people that inspired me to want to do television, because I was a Bronx boy. I lived in the Bronx. But then when I started dating my wife, who lived in Rockland County, I came up one day and was watching television, and here was this larger-than-life figure on television. It turned out that he had a public access show that ran for years. So I also want to say to you, just thank you for being in that whole line. And he had a heart of service, and you do also. And with that, I'd like to ask you, what are you doing now? Because what you're getting into is so important to the people. Tell the people what you're doing.
Well, we're getting into the whole concept of green and really exploring what green means and how it not only affects the world but our country and us as individuals. And I got into it about 2 years ago, and I started doing more and more research. And like everyone else, you start seeing more things on TV.
Yes.
You're reading about things. Fuel costs are going up. Utility costs are going up 12 to 15% a year.
My gosh.
It's out of control, and there's no solution to it yet. So it's just going to keep going up, and everyone's totally aware of this. And, you know, and I drive a lot, so I started seeing my expenses going up. I started seeing my utility bills going up. And the more research I did in the concept of going green, I started seeing that it was the beginning of a new industry.
Okay, first, what is green?
Green is kind of used in many different ways right now. Initially, green was being used in reference to global warming. It was being used into conservation, you know, composting, a variety of other things, right? But really, green now is really evolving to really conserving however you can.
Okay.
It's conserving water. It's conserving utilities. It's conserving and recycling. You know, that the whole concept of going green, it's really not wasting, which we call wasted resources, which is one of our programs, actually. And taking advantage of the variety of, you know, technologies that are out there, that are coming out every day. It's interesting because when I started looking at this, and, you know, like you own a building or you own a home, and you want to become green, you know, who do you call? Look in the yellow pages. There's no one there. You can't find anybody online. You know, it's very hard. And what I found out was to really become green, you need to deal with 10 different trades or so, right? Because you need an engineer to come in and do an audit. Then you need an electrician. You need a plumber, an HVAC guy. You need an installation person. You need somebody to help you with the grants, someone with the tax credits. And it's like, and I can keep going on and on. Sometimes excavators, you know, so it's a list of a lot of different people. And they don't work together well yet, so they're all segmented. And what I learned when building homes was you got to look at a building holistically. You have to analyze the building because it's like a breathing thing. You know, it has blood flow, it has water flow, air flow.
So you look at the building as a body.
As a body.
Oh.
Yes. It has a circulation. You have water, you have gas, you have oil. The house has to breathe. If it's too tight, you can die from carbon monoxide. If it's too loose, you're heating and cooling outside. So there's a lot of things people were really never taught about the science of houses and buildings. And even though we're building new buildings today, a lot of the builders aren't taking going green into consideration because of cost factors, they believe.
I understand.
But with today's technology, and what I like to say, in encompassing all that, going green today with the technology means saving money. You're doing win-win-win. You're saving money and you're saving the ecology.
Okay, Rudy, let me ask you this now. If someone's listening to the show and they say, okay, I heard about this green thing, right? And they're a homeowner. Do you have to be a homeowner to go green? Can you rent an apartment? Can you be someone who leases an apartment and still